Drake is still going after reaction channels. What's wrong with him?
So we all know Drake is trying to get out of his contract with UMG, but it looks like he's trying to burn the house down with him. We just did a breakdown of UMG's just iconic response and their
Yeah, we just see that. It was literally lawyer battle rap.
Meet the Grams 2. Their lawyers went, okay, you want a lawyer rap battle? We're going to show you how it's done. Lawyer up. And as more and more comes out from this case, which just has huge, massive implications on rap battles, on hip-hop, on freedom of speech, on artistry, on the reaction community, on content creators in general. We're going to keep an eye on it, but I really found this to be interesting. So documents have been shared regarding Drake's discovery and what his lawyers are requesting from UMG. And it's a wild one. So I guess the lawyer knocks us back. Let's dive into this one. Strap in. UMG already feels that the lawsuit Drake has placed upon them has little chance of shaking things up. But they also think that the OVO boss is doing too much by trying to unearth incredibly sensitive information. What they're referring to is contracts, including Kendrick Lamar's. That report comes from Billboard Pro, and because of his invasive efforts,
Why? What?
The industry giant is looking to end any further discovery. Now let's dive into some of that discovery and see what they're requesting on the OVO side. Here's what I've got of the documents to be produced. Document request number 1. Now this is interesting. All contracts and agreements between you and Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, his agents, or anyone working on his behalf, including all contracts and agreements.
Why? Why does Drake not want to see all his contracts? What's going on?
Reflecting your right to approve, reject, refuse to publish, edit, amend, alter, or veto the publication of Kendrick Lamar Duckworth's musical works, music videos, or other content. Now, this is pretty wild to me because a contract between an artist and their record label is not something that's normally publicly made available. There's a reason why contracts are not shared. That's between the artist and the employer. Just like me with my job contract when I was working for employers, right? That's not something that I go and I share across so anybody can...
Yeah, you wouldn't... It's not something that you share. It's weird.
As anyone else can look at. I mean, this case has already been full of plenty of wild turns. And I think for me, it's about the precedence that gets created if Drake gets his way. Because his lawyers and he are making a lot of moves that can definitely create some slippery slopes. That can just really put up into the air recording contracts between artists, between their labels, put up into the air like we talked about, the copyright system, whitelisting reaction channels, how it can affect streamers, how it can affect content creators. There's so many implications that are being created from this case. And I think because the nature of the case is so high level, right? This was one of the biggest hip hop feuds of all time. This is one of the biggest rap battles in the history of rap. And this will be talked about for years and years from now. But because it was so high profile, it didn't just spill into rap. It spilled into the public sphere elsewhere. Kendrick played at the Super Bowl. Kendrick took over the Grammys.
Absolutely cooked him.
So Not Like Us has been played on countless radio stations across the country. People who don't even normally listen to rap, they could sing you the lyrics to Not Like Us. They know what's going on between Drake and the Kendrick Lamar beef. And it's just something that is, has just achieved such a huge level. There's so many spotlights on it right now. There's so many people watching this that any move that is made within a case like this is going to have such a huge, significant impact. This is not just something that nobody's paying attention to. This is something that you guys want to see my thoughts on, that countless other creators are commenting on, because we all understand that this has just massive implications. Whatever happens in this case is going to have a huge impact on so many things.
It's true, brother. It's fucking true. If he gets his way, then what? Reactors get whitelisted, and then what? What? Could get in trouble. Huh?
It's going to have a huge...
All of this because you got cooked by Kendrick. Oh, come on, bro.
Impact on...
Man's trying to strip away freedom of speech because he got cooked by Kendrick. And every reactor cooked him. You got cooked, bro. Move on, it's fine.
Rap battles, rap beefs, and hip...
Man said, I'm going to strip freedom of speech away. Show me the contracts.
Pop going forward. And obviously you have to question why the contracts. Because some of the things that Drake is asking for, it almost feels like he's trying to get his hands on information that he can then leak, that can then be used later on, weaponized against Kendrick.
This is Drake's little fishy, little snaky, little bitchy way. What the fuck, man, bro? Come on, man, please.
Because how does a contract with Kendrick
Man dropped that album and it was whack. Drake's album's shit, innit?
Lamar, right? A regular, standard record label industry contract lead to the defamation that he's trying to claim? Lead to, the damages and the injuries that he's trying to prove within this defamation claim, within this lawsuit. I mean, that's incredibly sensitive and private information. That is between that individual and their employer. What's Drake looking for? The percentages? So we can sit there and try to prove that push-ups was correct? And as you step back from this situation, you start to think about Drake's motivations for this. Because we know he's been dragged into the public eye. I don't think Drake is ignorant to the implications of this lawsuit. I don't think he's ignorant to the criticisms that have been levied his way, to the things that people have been saying about him.
Yeah.
But it feels like Drake is trying to collect as much information as possible so that even if this case doesn't go his way, he has backup plans. And he has material that he can then weaponize, materials that he can then use and spin however he chooses to spin and use them. We know he loves to use the media. We know he's used leaks before. He's used other influencers. And he's definitely taken advantage of his position of power, of his position of spreading information and trying to bend narratives in his favor. They're also asking for payment, reimbursements, discretionary marketing funds. Like, they want to see the financial trail, right? They want to see the paper trail of all of the marketing that has been used for Not Like Us, for
They are so salty.
Kendrick Lamar, or any person working on his behalf, including but not limited to Anthony Sala. Which is interesting because Drake is...
They should just show him all the paperwork and it's all legit, and it's just like, it's just a global hit. That's all it is. It's just a global phenomenon. They not like us. Yeah, they not like us. Oh, they not like us. What do they want? What are they going to uncover?
Had Anthony Sala in the scope for a minute now, right? He's linked to management for Kendrick Lamar. And Drake, after he dropped Tailor-Made Freestyle, we know he loves his memes. He loves to share his Instagram stories, right? He was sharing images of Anthony with captions. We going to get the bag or not? Is today the day? Trying to imply that he knows more of what's going on behind the scenes. I also find it interesting in this document request that they want documents sufficient to show the executive compensation structure and annual incentive plans for Interscope Chief Executive Officer John Janik for the
What? Come on now.
past 5 years. They don't just want Kendrick's
Come
contract,
on now, bro.
right? They want the CEO of Interscope Records in his contract and
Come
agreement.
on
This is
now.
wild. And for those wondering if the Grammys, the Super Bowl had any impact and how Drake felt about that, well, here it is right here. Document
Come on
request
now.
number 8. All documents and communications relating to the February 2nd, 2025 Grammy Awards relating to recording, image, or video, including but not limited to all documents, communications with the National Academy of Recording Artists and Sciences, or any representative or agent thereof. All documents and
Come on
communications
now.
regarding the promotion and advertising of the recording image for the purposes of obtaining a nomination for the Grammy Award, obtaining a win for the Grammy, and for promoting the February 2nd, 2025 Grammy Awards. Are we trying to say that this is a conspiracy, that this is all a setup? Is that what we're going to prove?
Stupid,
that
bruv.
the Grammys was just a setup for Kendrick Lamar to further Not Like Us in the defamation of Drake?
What a reach.
That looks like it's possibly the angle here with Discovery that we're trying to take. All documents and communications regarding the content of the archival footage available from the February 2nd, 2025 Grammy Awards, including but not limited to, as referenced in Hot New Hip Hop gets a shout out. Hey, thanks for the free promo for Hot New Hip Hop. So the Grammys are not safe. And if you thought the Super Bowl was safe, document request number 9. All documents and communications relating to the selection and licensing of the recording to be performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, including but not limited to all documents and communications relating to any and all decisions proposed, contemplated, or made with respect to whether to omit or censor any lyrics or other content related to the recording during the Super Bowl halftime show. Now, that's really interesting to me because during the halftime show, we commented, right? There was one specific line that Kendrick omitted that he did not say, even when he's looking down the barrel of the camera.
Certified lover boy, certified.
Obviously,
True.
Drake's lawyers clocked onto that moment,
True.
like a lot of people did, and they want to take that and they want to find a way to weaponize that now. Like, they want to see if there's any sort of communications talking about this. Because, again, think about it. For them, they want to prove that the other side knowingly had this agenda, right? Knowingly knew the truth, one, that Drake was not, absolutely not a PDF file. They have to prove that they had all the evidence that they knew without a shadow of a doubt, without any reasonable doubt, that he was not this, and that they acted maliciously, that they purposefully went out of their way to defame him. So that's why they're at.
It's a rap battle, my boy. The fuck's the matter with you? It's a rap battle, my boy. Fuck are we doing here, Drake, man?
Asking for that,
So
and that's
loser.
where that is tying in. They're trying to prove that Not Like Us purpose is to defame Drake. It's to cause actual injury, to take away from Drake and his career and everything that he's doing, and that this is the malicious plot, and that this is
Man,
the
just hold the L. It's okay. Fuck.
malicious plan.
Man said I'm coming for freedom of speech. My boy. Chill out.
And the Super Bowl is now an extension of that. The Grammys are now an extension of that from Drake's legal team's eyes. There's another interesting document request here too. Document request number 14. All documents and communications relating to the May 7, 2024 armed attack in the May 8th and 9th trespassing attempts at Drake's Toronto residence. That is really interesting that that situation is coming into play within this lawsuit. Because that was presented, that was always understood to me.
What are they saying? UMG are part of that? Or Kendrick?
Me as something dealing with The Weeknd, as something dealing
What they're saying that because of the artwork of the Not Like Us is Drake's house, so it caused harm. What the fuck is this, bro?
with Abel, is dealing with Abel's manager, and all of that. And that was a different, more Toronto local dispute, not having to do with Not Like Us. But it looks like they're going to try to leverage that into this case as well. Because remember, they're trying to claim that Kendrick was calling for violence against Drake, and that as a result of that, these violent acts happen at Drake's residence, right? Drake was threatened, and that's a result of Kendrick Lamar and his wop, 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 as they, bent those lyrics completely out of proportion. And you say I get called for reaching foul sometimes. I mean, we did a breakdown of how Drake's lawyers really were getting some technical fouls in there and trying to get some steals for their reaches. But yeah, I really find that interesting. There's a lot of interesting Easter eggs to me from these discovery requests that reveal intentions behind Drake's legal team and kind of where they're going with it. And finally, if you thought that we were being left alone after the backlash from all the content creators and reaction community, nope, not happening at all. Document requests. All documents and communications relating to any actions or contemplated actions you undertook with respect to the copyright restrictions for the recording, image, or video, including but not limited to any alteration, modification, removal, suspension of the same.
What the fuck?
They want to start looking into the copyright claiming, right? The content ID. And remember how we got dragged into this in the first place, talking about in their argument that Reactors were whitelisted. And that's why they looked favorably upon Kendrick. That's why they spoke with a bias against Drake. And that was one of their key points that they put within the lawsuit. So now they're following through with that on discovery here. And it continues in their next request. Documents sufficient to show your internal policies, procedures, and guidelines relating to the enforcement of copyright restrictions over the publication, playing, streaming, and sharing of musical works, musical videos, or other content on third-party platforms.
They've lost their mind.
That's us specifically. That's dealing especially with YouTube, with copyright claims, with all of that. And without beating a dead horse, like how often have I gone on about this, about the different slippery slopes and the implications especially from this, and how I'm already seeing how much more difficult it is. It's already difficult as hell. Like if you want to be a reactor, don't, because it's incredibly difficult to be a reactor with the amount of content ID claims, with the amount of copyright strikes that you have to deal with day in and day out.
We're in for it, boys.
The things that you have to fight.
My boy.
It's already so incredibly difficult. YouTube has a broken copyright system in the first place. I've made a video detailing this in the past of why it's broken. Somebody claims your video, you appeal it, and the person who decides that appeal is not YouTube. It's not a third party.
Person.
It's that person who made the claim on you in the first place. They get to decide if it's valid. right? That's the first step in a broken process that is long,
Yeah, that's
that is
stupid.
lengthy, that is
Don't make
incredibly
sense.
stressful, that always puts our channels at risk every time we try to appeal.
That makes sense.
Every time that we try to fight, it's already difficult enough trying to negotiate and navigate these waters, dealing with labels, dealing with the copyright system. And now all of a sudden, if this is going to be weaponized, right? If this is all going to be
that's
a
a
part
problem.
of their court case, what do you think that labels are going to do? They're going to tighten up. They're going to make it even more difficult for us to ever earn any revenue reacting to their artist music, because they don't want this to set precedent, right? They're going to want to make it
Exactly, sir. He's 100% spot on here.
even more difficult, because otherwise
That's what Drake and them are looking for. What the fuck?
other cases will
You know, and then Kendrick like releases like let's not like us let people just react to it. What's the issue here?
come forward. Other people
Man
will
said
sue
I'm
them,
coming for
and they'll
freedom
use this
of
as an
speech.
example. They will use this as precedent. I mean, it's a shit show and a half. But yeah, that's where we are today. I mean, now we've gotten to
Shit
see
show, man.
what's being asked in Discovery. We've gotten to see the UMG firing back at Meet the Grams 2 with their just legal diss rap battle, and their response, which is just absolutely iconic.
I'm hitting you with that lawyer rap, bitch. Lawyer rap. Oh, got the gavel back.
But it's up to the judges now. We'll see if this case gets dismissed with prejudice. We'll see if this case moves forward. And if it does move forward, wow, holy shit, buckle up. But anyways, that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, thanks for being here. Look, if you want to support the channel and you're here at the end, subscribe, notifications on. Goes a long way. Also, don't forget to copy your hats. KnoxHillMusic.com. We got hats, we got shirts, we got hoodies, everything that you need. If you want to rep the brand, if you want to get it out there, it all goes a long way. All right, everyone, stay safe, stay positive. It's only Knox Hill.
video.
No, catch you again.
Sit down, sit down. Like, wow, how we do it like that? Like, wow, how we do it like that? Like, wow, how we do it like that? Like, wow, better sit your ass down.
Always a banger from the homie. Always a good fucking video. Analysis is always on point from the boy Knox. So it's always good to have a look at a video from him. But on that note, boys, I'm gonna call it a day. Coming up to 4 hours, I'm shattered. Look at it, 6 o'clock. Oh my god. Time to consume some food. Relax, let the evening unwind, old fathers. You have yourself a good evening. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye for now, fathers. Goodbye for now.
With the 5 styles and the steel fingers, I want to see all your force, and you must keep up your practice constantly to succeed.